Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned. Hello, great people. Welcome back to Global Happenings. Today, we're so excited to have you again. It is a sad news for the Ekeremadu's family over the case of organ harvesting that involves Senator Ike Ekeremadu, his wife Beatrice, and the doctor Obina Obita. And despite all that have been done, I must say that the verdict was not in his favor as expected, despite the fact that Ecowas Parliament sent in their plea begging for mercy to prevail, counting all the goodies that Ike Ekeremadu had done, not just to Nigeria, but to ECOWAS, West Africa as a whole, his involvement in peacekeeping in different countries of the different countries in West Africa and all of that, even with what Senate, the plea the Senate sent to UK embassy alongside, the prayer and fasting that was held yesterday by the people of Mbu community. Yesterday they held a prayer vigil till this morning of Thursday, and it was for divine intervention. It was held in a community primary school, Amagumbu Playground, as both they said, according to the info, it said both the old, the young, and widow, they defied the rain and gathered, and they were crying to God to deliver their son, whom they described as the backbone of the community and also a philanthropist. And according to the info, he said this wasn't even the first time that they were gathering for that purpose. Despite all of that, it still turned out that judiciary in UK did not spare Ike Ekeremadu. According to the full details, the UK court on Friday sentenced former Deputy Senate President Ike Ekeremadu to 10 years and 6 months in jail for plotting to harvest a man's kidney for his sick daughter. Meanwhile, Ekeremadu's wife Beatrice was handed a 4 years, 6 months sentence, while Obina Obeta, a medical doctor, got a 10-year sentence for the same offense. British journalist Chris Sonia shared the news via his Twitter handle today, Friday afternoon. Recall that the trip of Ekeremadu, Beatrice, and Obita were convicted, or the trial of Ekeremadu, Beatrice, and Obita were convicted of conspiracy to arrange the travel of a young Nigerian man who was identified as David Nwamini to Britain in order to exploit him for his kidney. The organ was needed for Ekeremadu's sick daughter, Sonia. The trial lasted for 6 weeks, and conviction at the Old Bailey London Central Criminal Court was expected today, and it has been passed. It's quite unfortunate that this is happening. According to the prosecutor, Hugh Davis, who was the jury, or he said that the behavior of Ekeremadu shows entitlement, dishonesty, and hypocrisy. Wow, this is serious, I must say. And I have my colleague in the house. We are going to be discussing this because it's quite a sad one for Ekeremadu's family. Why did he have to end the way he ended? Was it because for some reason, God is preparing our senators, or let me say our politicians, with this and all of that? Looking at the situation on ground, what do you have to say?
This is quite sad. Unfortunately, UK is not Nigeria, where the law is the law. Regardless of who you are, regardless of who is being God, in as much as you break the law, you go in for it. And that's the functional society. Sometimes, unfortunately, in this country, we've gotten used to always having a bypass, when we always have a way around it, like what we are practically experiencing right now, where Nigerians will say the judiciary ought to be the last hope for the common man, but from all indication, Nigerians are now, so to speak, pressing the judiciary to do the right thing. We've seen series and series of issues where we begin to doubt, but there the law is the law, regardless of who you are. And unfortunately, though a sitting senator in Nigeria, maybe there could be some, leverages. There could be some benefits. There could be one or two places where people powers that be can speak in your favor and probably let you off the hook. This is not Nigeria. This is UK. So if you know that you have seen the laws governing that situation, why attempt? But then again, that's for the ruling. But for the young man, let's hope in all sincerity. Look, this is Nigerians, okay? Yes, probably in United States, United Kingdom, that's what's happening. But if peradventure that young man, in all sincerity, deep within him, he knew he signed that deliberately on his own, and he did that, there may not be physical law to that effect because it's just based on evidences in front of the judges, but there is a spiritual law. One way or the other, there's always a karma, and they come even when you're not prepared for it.
Now, this particular incident has, according to the info we had yesterday, coming from the royal fathers of the community with which he's coming from, talking about Ike Ekeremadu. They said that so many students under his scholarship scheme have discontinued their studies due to lack of funds, while the town has become a ghost of itself since his arrest in June last year. What do you think is the fate of this student, and do you think the government can help out in this situation?
Unfortunately, there's always a trickle down effect in every, both good or bad.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this is one of the trickle down effects of the bad. That's why I'm really hoping that let it be that the young man said the truth. Because now the fate of, yes, Ekwuregwumadu going down, the fate of many Nigerians there will probably be affected. Some of them maybe the future doctor, future gynecologist, future whatever, but their dreams may be truncated simply because the very sponsor will actually be going to prison. That's one. Two, I don't see the government coming into place here. That's a constituency drive of which, to a great extent, maybe it's part of its constituency, of which monies have been given one way or the other, which is good works. I think I appreciate that. But the truth be told, the government is looking for money. They're even borrowing money itself to be able to budget funding. You can see they're looking. In fact, right now the way Nigerian government is looking for money, it does give you an idea. Now to come and put more burden
No
on,
way.
there's no way. There's
If
just no way.
citizens were even money, they would have spent us
Honestly,
by now.
you understand? So you try to understand. We need money. We need you right now. So it's rather an unfortunate situation. Given all that is happening right now, I just hope that the students will just find a way around it.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
exactly. Interestingly, Ike Ekeremadu is a nice guy, according to the info I had coming from the Ecowas parliament. They said he was one of the best, that at some point he has to even involve his own personal finances to do a lot of things. But be that as it may, the the verdict is out, and I think the only thing that can salvage him right now is for him to be of good conduct in the prison, and possibly they could be.
That will savage him.
Yeah, good conduct does salvage people who are in prison. If you have good conduct, and then at one point, possibly the prime minister wants to use his prerogative rights, as right of clemency or so. If he wants to use his prerogative rights to at one particular occasion, maybe it could be celebration of their independence and all of that, he may say, okay, three prisoners who have been of good conduct should be freed, and that may come in.
Do you know that with what this young man have done to Ike Ekeremadu, he may not even contest again?
Of course, he's a criminal.
It goes beyond
Yeah.
justice. Has gone to his political career is gone.
Truncated finally. Even the wives,
Oh my God.
I think even the family name has gone down the drain. I'm telling you, gone down the mud. It's quite a sad one, I must say. But all of this, we have to understand that all of this was done to salvage a child, and that child wasn't a mistake on earth. It happened that it had to be like that. But what I want to use this opportunity, just like my colleague has already said, we just have to be very careful of what we do. We just have to be careful, especially when you leave the shores of Nigeria, because oftentimes when we are in the shores of Nigeria, anything is possible. But when we leave the shores of Nigeria, my brother, anything is not possible, and that is unfortunately, what has happened. And according to the info I heard, I think this is the first of its kind. That's this the first case in around modern slavery. So I think that's why they had to take it so seriously, and it has to happen the way it should happen. And also, this is a lesson to Nigerian judiciary. Yes, I have to emphasize this. It's a lesson. So that tomorrow, if a white man also fall against our law, no matter the letter written, even if he's a president of United States of America that falls in and we find him guilty, he must save his jail term complete in Nigeria, because there is nothing like mercy when it comes to breaking the law. That's what we like to